I mean, you can all start with a laugh if you want, but we're recording now, so. So writing equations and inequalities is just a natural progression from writing expressions, because expressions are essentially the same thing, only without equal signs or inequalities. So we should know what equations are because they have equal sign, and if you don't know how to write an equal sign, then what are you doing in 9th grade? Okay? Equal sign, 2 straight lines like this. But then we have 4 basic inequalities. We have less than, which might also be said as fewer than. We have less than or equal to, which might also be said as at most or no more than. So no more than means less than or equal to. We have greater than, or we might say more than. And we have greater than or equal to, which we might say at least or no less than. So those are different phrases that might cue you as to what inequality we're going to use. So today we're just going to be writing these equations and inequalities. So we're going to take what we learned from expressions and translate them to inequalities. So example 1, the first phrase is the difference of twice a number k and 8 is 12. The difference. So when we see difference, what's that tell us we're going to be doing? Subtraction. Now the difference of, now when it says difference of, that of doesn't mean multiplication. The of goes with the difference, okay? So it's not multiplication there. The difference of twice a number, how would I write twice a number? How would I write twice a number if I don't know what that number is? Yeah. No. Yep. Multiply by 2. A little bit different than squared. Twice a number is when we multiply by 2. And you can use whatever variable you want for numbers. Sometimes we just use n. Sometimes we use x, k, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. So twice a number is when we double it or multiply by 2. So the difference of twice a number and 8 is 12. So the difference tells us that we're subtracting. What are we subtracting? What 2 things are we subtracting? Seth?
2k and 8.
2k and 8. And since that's the order it's given to us in, that's the order we subtract in. 2k minus 8. Now we're comparing that to a different quantity. We're comparing it to 12. The question is, how do they compare? Which is bigger, which is smaller, or are they the same? Which is bigger, which is smaller, or are they the same? So it says the difference of twice a number and 8 is 12. What do we think is means, Emily? Equals. They're the same. The difference is 12. It's not is more than 12, or is less than 12, or is close to 12, or is at most 12, or is related to 12. It is 12, and so that tells us it's equals. That's how we write our equation. So when we see just is, we're looking at equals. The next one says the product of 6 and a number n. How would I write the product of 6 and a number n? The product of 6 and a number n. Emily? 6n, which means 6 times n, because product means to multiply. So the product of 6 and a number n is at least 24. So I'm comparing the 6n to the 24. And it says that 6n is at least 24. So when it says at least, does that mean it could be equal? Does that mean they could be the same if it says at least? In other words, if I have the same amount of money as Lauren, or if I have at least as much money as Lauren, could we have the same amount? Yes. At least means we could have the same amount. So there's the possibility that they're equal. But if they're not equal, which is more? If it says 6n is at least 24, which would be more? Bethany? She says the 24 would be more. 6n is at least 24. What do you guys think? 6n is at least 24. So what they're saying is the smallest amount 6n could be is 24. Could it be more than 24? Yes. So 6n could be equal to 24 or it could be bigger. So we need to write our inequality with the open side towards the 6n. How many of you have seen inequalities before? Okay. So we should know that the open side goes to the bigger end. If you need help, then look at it as a little alligator, a little nose, and there's an eye or something. That's more like a snake with extra teeth. Yeah, or you go old school, we call it Red Pac-Man. Or if you're, really concerned with gender equality, it could be Miss Pac-Man. Okay, just put a little bow on it, because that makes a big difference. Okay, how do we know it's not a bow tie? I mean, who knows where his neck is?
That's true.
All right, so we got 6n is at least 24. Now it says a number y is no less than. So that is introducing our inequality early. So a number y is no less than 5 and no more than 13. So this one's a little different because it's comparing y to two different numbers. It's comparing y to 5 and to 13. So let's put y in there. And they tell us that y is no less than 5. What does that mean? It could be bigger, but could it be equal? If it's no less than 5, it could also be equal. Okay? So that means it has to be bigger than or equal to 5, and it says it's no more than 13. What does that tell us? Seth?
It could be equal or it could be less.
It could be equal or it could be less. So it's somewhere between 5 and 13. So this is what we call a chained inequality or a compound inequality. And when we do that, we start with the smallest quantity on the left, which is 5. And then y could be bigger than or equal to 5, which means 5 is less than or equal to y. So we have the open side with the y, and then or equal to. That's now immortalized on record. Your sneeze is going to be on YouTube. Good job, Bethany. Just want to make sure we attach a name to it. Somebody's going to pull that out and use that for a sound effect in movies now. They're going to stretch it out. That's going to be the new Starfighter sound in one of the Star Wars movies. All right, so 5 is going to be smaller than or equal to y, and then it's also got to be smaller than, y is smaller than or equal to 13. Okay. So 5 is no less than 5, so it's greater than or equal to 5, and less than or equal to 13. So example 2 asks us to check possible solutions for an inequality. I'm going to run through a few of these for you. We're running out of time here because of your quiz. I'm going to run through a few of these for you, and then set you loose on them. So it says to check whether 3 is a solution of the equation or inequality. So what they want to know is we have this equation 8 minus 2x equals, 2. They're basically asking is, if I plug in 3 for x, do I have a true equation? So all you have to do is check. We put in 3 for x, and what's 2 times 3? 6. And does 8 minus 6 equal 2? Yes, so 3 is a solution of that equality. Now, the answer for these questions is always either yes, it's a solution, or no, it's not a solution. The answer is never equation or inequality. I see this every year. Somebody looks at it and goes, that's an equation, that's my answer. Or that's an inequality, I'm going to write inequality. That's not what it's asking. It's asking to plug in the number and see if it works. If it works, then it's a solution. If it doesn't work, it's not a solution. So in this one, we have 2x plus 5 equals 12. If I plug in 3 for x, I've got 2 times 3 plus 5 greater than 12. What's 2 times 3? 6. What's 6 plus 5? 11. Is 11 greater than 12? No. So my answer to this question would be not a solution. Not a solution. Okay. Example 3 asks you to use mental math to solve an equation. So bonus if you're mental. Okay. All it means is think this out. It says x plus 4 equals 10. They want you to figure out what x would be. Okay, so think about this. Don't think about it too hard. What number plus 4 equals 10? What number plus 4 equals 10? Ryan? 6. Ryan thinks x should be 6. How would we confirm if Ryan was correct or not? Seth?
Input 6 for x.
Put in 6 for x. Does 6 plus 4 equal 10? Yes. Okay. All right, I want you to give these a shot for your homework. It's going to throw in some word problems, but I'm sure you guys can do them. Your homework is assignment 4. Put assignment 3 in the rack on your way out.